Hey everyone, it's Mocha. Today we're diving deep into the impending grocery shortages and revealing 10 common items that might be gone from shelves sooner than you think. Like before March 2025 sooner. Supply chain issues? Yeah, those are still messing things up. And don't even get me started on the very real impacts of climate change on food production. We're talking extreme weather events, droughts, floods, the works. The good news is, being aware of what's coming means we can actually prepare for it. So let's get into it. Here are 10 grocery items that might disappear from your local supermarket shelves before we hit March 2025. And because I believe in solutions, we'll also be talking about some smart alternatives you can stock up on. Let's kick things off with a staple that's probably in a lot of your pantries right now: canned tomatoes. They're the base for so many recipes. But here's the thing, the price of canned tomatoes has already started to skyrocket, and it's only going to get worse. Supply chain issues are causing major disruptions in the global tomato trade, and if that wasn't enough, climate change is also throwing a wrench into things. Tomatoes are really sensitive to changes in temperature and rainfall. Less supply plus higher demand equals a recipe for empty shelves, and it's not just limited to canned tomatoes either. Tomato sauce, paste, even ketchup, they're all feeling the heat. For now, just know that if you're a fan of all things tomato, it might be a good idea to stock up a bit while you still can. You know, just in case. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite comfort food, chocolate. The cacao beans that give chocolate its deliciousness are primarily grown in West Africa. This region is being hit particularly hard by climate change. Increased temperatures, unpredictable rainfall, and a higher risk of pests and diseases can decimate cacao crops. Supply chain disruptions are making it difficult and expensive to get those cacao beans to chocolate factories. Experts are predicting that we could be facing a global chocolate shortage as early as 2025. Yes, you heard that right, a chocolate shortage. But look, before you spiral into a chocolateless abyss of despair, let's remember that there are things we can do. Being aware of the problem is the first step. And, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be talking about some delicious alternatives later on in this video. Because no matter what happens, we will always find a way to satisfy our sweet tooths, right? 13. Alright, let's move on to something a little lighter, shall we? Like fruit. Climate change and supply chain issues are impacting the availability of some of our favorite fruits. We're talking about fruits like avocados, oranges, and berries. These fruits are particularly vulnerable to changes in weather patterns. Take avocados, for example. They require a very specific climate to thrive, and as temperatures rise and droughts become more frequent, many avocado-growing regions are struggling to keep up with demand. Oranges are facing a similar predicament. Citrus greening disease has been ravaging orange groves for years, and climate change is only making the problem worse. And then there are berries. These delicate fruits are highly susceptible to damage from extreme weather events. So, what's a fruit lover to do? We can try to be more mindful of our fruit consumption, and when we do buy fruit, we can try to choose locally grown options whenever possible. Every little bit helps, right? Chapter 4. The Great Vegetable Shortage. Just like fruits, vegetables are also feeling the heat from climate change and supply chain issues. We're talking about vegetables like lettuce, onions, and even potatoes. Let's start with lettuce. This leafy green is a water-intensive crop, and as droughts become more common, farmers are struggling to keep their fields irrigated. Onions are susceptible to a variety of pests and diseases, which are becoming more difficult to control as temperatures rise. And then there are potatoes. Potatoes are susceptible to a variety of diseases that thrive in warmer temperatures, and they also require a lot of water to grow. So, what does this mean for our dinner plates? We'll start to see fewer varieties of these vegetables available in stores, and the prices of the varieties that are available are likely to continue to rise. 10. Chapter 5. Dairy alternatives, not so sustainable after all. Almond milk, soy milk, oat milk, they've revolutionized the way we eat and drink. But even these seemingly sustainable alternatives aren't immune to the challenges facing our food system. Almonds require a huge amount of water to grow. Soybeans are often grown using monoculture farming practices which can deplete the soil of nutrients and contribute to deforestation. Oat milk, while requiring less water, is often grown using pesticides. So what does this mean for the future of dairy alternatives? We'll start to see a shift towards more sustainable options such as hemp milk, flax milk, or even pea milk. Chapter 6. Don't panic, get prepared, smart alternatives and solutions. First and foremost, we need to stay informed. The more we understand about the challenges facing our food system, the better equipped we'll be to make informed choices about what we eat and buy. Second, we can start exploring alternative options. We've already talked about some of these, like hemp milk, flax milk, and pea milk, as alternatives to traditional dairy milk. But there are also plenty of other options out there, such as ancient grains like quinoa and amaranth, which are more resilient to climate change than traditional wheat, and locally grown produce, which reduces the environmental impact of transportation. Third, we can support sustainable farming practices. This means buying from farmers who are using regenerative agriculture techniques, which help to improve soil health, conserve water, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It also means advocating for policies that support small-scale farmers and promote sustainable agriculture. Changing the way we eat and shop for food can feel daunting, but it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Even small changes can make a big difference. Chapter 7. The Grains of Truth. What's happening to our staple starches? Let's talk grains. They're the backbone of countless cultures' diets, from the rice paddies of Asia to the wheat fields of North America. Rice cultivation is incredibly water-intensive, and as droughts become more frequent and severe, farmers are struggling to keep their crops irrigated. This has led to a decline in rice production, and if the trend continues, it could have devastating consequences for the billions of people around the world who rely on rice as a staple food. Other grains, such as corn and barley, are also facing challenges from extreme weather events, pests, and diseases. But it's not all doom and gloom in the world of grains. There are alternative grains out there, ancient grains like quinoa, amaranth, and millet, that are more resilient to climate change and require less water to grow. These grains are also packed with nutrients, making them a healthy and sustainable alternative to traditional grains. Chapter 8. The Future of Meat. What to expect at the meat counter. Let's talk meat. It's a staple in many diets around the world, but the way we produce and consume meat is taking a toll on our planet. Beef, in particular, is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, and its production requires vast amounts of land, water, and feed. Pork and poultry production are also energy-intensive and contribute to environmental problems like deforestation and water pollution. So, what does this mean for the future of meat? We'll start to see a shift towards more plant-based protein sources, such as beans, lentils, tofu, and tempeh. These alternatives have a much lower environmental impact than meat, and they're packed with nutrients. There are also more sustainable ways to produce meat, such as regenerative grazing. The key is to be mindful of our meat consumption, and to choose meat that's been produced sustainably whenever possible. Chapter 9. Swimming upstream, seafood and the future of our oceans. Seafood has long been a vital source of protein for billions of people around the world, but the future of seafood is uncertain, threatened by overfishing, pollution, and climate change. Rising ocean temperatures and acidification are disrupting marine ecosystems and threatening the survival of countless fish species. Overfishing is further depleting fish populations, pushing some species to the brink of collapse. We need to reduce our reliance on industrial fishing practices and transition towards more sustainable methods. Choosing sustainably caught fish, opting for plant-based seafood alternatives, and reducing our overall seafood consumption can help alleviate the pressure on our oceans. Chapter 10. Snack Attack. The uncertain future of packaged snacks. Let's be honest, we all have our guilty pleasures. And for many of us, those guilty pleasures come in the form of packaged snacks. But even our favorite indulgences aren't immune to the challenges facing our food system. Many packaged snacks contain ingredients like wheat, corn, and soy, all of which are facing challenges from climate change and supply chain disruptions. We'll start to see a shift towards snacks made with more sustainable ingredients, such as alternative oils, ancient grains, and plant-based protein sources. We might also see a rise in the popularity of homemade snacks, as people become more conscious of the ingredients in their food and seek out healthier, more sustainable options. 8. So there you have it. 10 common grocery items that might be gone from shelves sooner than we think. I know it's a lot to take in, and it can be overwhelming to think about the future of food. But remember, knowledge is power. The more informed we are about the challenges facing our food system, the better equipped we'll be to make choices that benefit both our health and the health of our planet. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and family.